So today's adventure is Paynes Creek Historic State Park, and we're getting ready to start off on the Paynes Creek Trail. This historic state park has some sites that, some historic sites that date back to the Seminole Indian Wars. There's a fort site here, and it also has trails along the Peace River. So we are setting out on a hike. I don't know how many miles we'll walk today. We haven't hiked much at all during the summer because of the heat. It's the beginning of September. It's still rather warm, but we decided to get back to it after taking a couple of months off. So we'll see how far we can hike today. So we're going to start off here on the historic trail. This trail will lead you to a monument dedicated to the men killed in Seminole Indian attack in 1849, and to an overlook of the exact site where the attack took place. Both trails start and end here. The monument trail takes 20 minutes and is a half-mile long. The store trail takes 60 minutes and is 1.5 miles long. All right, so the Kennedy Darling store site, was that like a trading post? I think I read something about a trading post. So, well, anyway, we're going to find out. Okay, so we're going to do the monument trail first. That one, I think I read, was a half-mile long. Okay, I guess we're not doing the monument trail. The suspension bridge is closed. So, monument trail is closed. The suspension bridge is in need of repair. So we are going to be doing the trading post trail. And in the decade following the Second Seminole War, 1835 to 1842, tensions between settlers and Seminole Indians prompted federal authorities to establish a trading post in Florida's interior. The Kennedy Darling Trading Post was built on the northern end of the Seminole Reservation, easy for the Seminoles to reach, but away from settlements. The trading post, constructed in the spring of 1849, was attacked and destroyed in July of that year by renegade Seminoles. Reports of the attack motivated the U.S. Army to establish a chain of fortifications across the Florida Peninsula. So this site is the site of where the trading post once was. Hammock was a word used by the Indians to describe a hardwood forest. It is one of a number of Indian words that are still used in Florida today. Yeah, so far wet but not flooded, so that's good. So we have two choices. We have Flatwoods Trail, or up ahead we have Mary Jane Trail. Take a pick. All right, so let's do Flatwoods Trail. Staggerbush. This densely growing shrub grows in flatwood soils that are often saturated with moisture. It was given its name by early settlers in Florida who had difficulty pushing their way through it. See, stagger brush or stagger bush, because they had to stagger through it. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Longleaf pines. When soldiers erected a fort here in 1849, they cut the longleaf pines and dragged them to the fort site. The virgin pines were much larger than the ones you see here. Their long, straight trunks were ideal for construction. The area around Paynes Creek, and in fact much of Florida, was historically dominated by the type of vegetation you see here. Flat ground covered with grasses and palmettos and scattered palm trees. There's some kind of tracks here. You see? I think it's raccoon.
Some of them look bigger than a raccoon.
So, yeah, some of them do look bigger than a raccoon. We saw a raccoon when we were driving in. So far we haven't seen too much other wildlife. Heard some birds in the distance. Lots of crickets. Fort site. Fort Chaconicla was one of a vast number of temporary log forts built on the American frontier during the Indian Wars. This spot was chosen because it is the highest ground in the vicinity and close to a water supply. A team of archaeologists conducted investigation at this site. One of the digs produced evidence that a wooden building, probably a blockhouse, stood here. The blockhouse was part of most frontier forts. The overhanging upper story had gun ports in the floor. This prevented an enemy from rushing the building and sheltering against the walls. The Seminoles in Florida were few, and their chief, Billy Bowlegs, wanted peace. He knew that the Indians could not win a war. The chief met with General David Twiggs, the commander of federal troops in Florida, and explained that the trouble had been caused by renegade Indians. He turned 3 of the warriors over to the general and presented him with the hand of a 4th who had been killed trying to escape. Although Billy Bowlegs and the majority of his people left for the West, a handful of Seminoles remained. Chief Apika, Sam Jones, a stubborn foe of the whites, stayed on. He was, he explained, too old to make the journey and would stay on in Florida to die. The Seminoles who remained avoided contact with the whites except to trade for staple items. Wow, this is really pretty. Heading down the Peace River Trail. This leisurely 40-minute, 1-mile loop trail will lead you along the banks of Paynes Creek to the Peace River. Okay, so this is where Paynes Creek empties into the Peace River. The Peace River is known for a great place to find fossils. There's been all sorts of fossils and ancient discoveries here along the Peace River. I just can't get over how fast that creek is flowing into the river. No. I mean, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this is moving. You know, there's an old pirate legend about the Peace River. It said that when Jose Gaspar, when they had their final battle and they were killed by the, I think it was the Americans that tricked them. It might have been the British, but I'm pretty sure it was the American army that tricked them. They went to attack the ship, and they dropped their flag and put up the American flag at the last minute. So Jose Gaspar went right into a trap. But anyway, a few of his crew got away. And supposedly they paddled up the Peace River with treasure, and supposedly somewhere along the way buried it along the banks of the Peace River. Could be right over there. The treasure of Jose Gaspar could be right over there. It's pretty. Cypress Swamps, dominated by towering bald cypress and shorter pond cypress. These distinctive habitats are found throughout Florida. They can occur as cypress ponds or domes, as cypress strands, which are long, narrow formations that form in freshwater channels, and as cypress swamps along river, floodplains, or bottomlands. So today's hike's been very leisurely. We are on hard-packed dirt or sand. Easy hike. We've hiked about 2.5 miles today, and we're almost back to our car. And it's been a beautiful hike. The scenery has been marvelous. So I hope you enjoyed watching about our hike here at Paynes Creek Historic State Park. Keep an eye out for our future adventures. Take a minute to subscribe to our YouTube channel and see all our adventures and all our great views of Florida.